We are live, everyone. Isn't that a good thing? We are alive. It is so good to see you all here. Tell me something good. You have the ability to change your life. That is the greatest news anyone will ever give you. You have the ability to change your life. Joaquin. You see, if we think about that for a moment, we have spent a lifetime hearing, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, but all things are possible. We spent a lifetime hearing those things. But the law speaks not, yet it says so much. The law is calling you today to be bold, to be audacious. The law is saying to you, you can change your life, and here's how. And we look at the law and we say, that's not what I heard. I heard something different. So then what happens? We continue on in the way that we always have. So today, my beautiful friends, the good thing I'm telling you is you have the ability to change your life. Neville Goddard calls it the law of assumption, to assume. Assume it to be true. And we hear what? If you assume, you make an ass of me and you make an ass of you. That's what we hear for assume. Assuming is the law of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. So when you assume, what do you need to assume? The image that you hold. You can't assume empty space. You assume what you say you are. And then because you assume it, and here's the funny thing, when you assume it, the law of correspondence tells you very clearly what you have just assumed. Your body responds with a feeling. And so the law of correspondence says, hey, we're doing this. This is what I know to be true. And then it does what? It sets out to bring about the fulfillment or the recreation of the image you hold within yourself. So you are called to be bold. You are called to be courageous. You are called to be audacious. You clutch your pearls and you say, the audacity. Yes, the audacity. You need to have some. Think about this for a moment. We've spent our lives telling ourselves what we cannot have, and we've been doing it with rather much boldness and audacity. You can't have that. That is beyond your reach. You aren't good enough. You're not qualified. That's what we tell ourselves, and we tell ourselves that with such surety. The same way you can tell yourself you don't qualify and you're not good enough. Well, that's the same passion you can now turn around and tell yourself, yes, I can. That is mine. That is true. Because I say it is true. Because I say it is. That is what we can do for ourselves. That is the good I'm telling you this morning. You look at your situation, whatever it is. I don't care what it is. The law doesn't care what it is either. The law says, you like it? Keep it. You don't like it? Change it. And here's how. It says, the law says, be clear about what it is you want to accomplish. Who do you say that you are? That is the first thing the law is asking you. The law doesn't ask you if you believe it or not, or if you think it is possible. It asks you, what do you want? And so when it asks you what you want, every single thing goes off in your brain that says, oh, but we can't do that. Nobody's ever done it before. You're not good enough. See, all those things fly through your mind because we've learned them, we've observed them, so they have left an impression upon the subconscious mind. But today, with the audacity that you have, is a hot branding iron, and you now need to make the impression upon your own subconscious mind that you can only succeed. Think about it. What have you to gain? What have you to gain if you adopt the attitude of audacity? Oh, but they're going to judge me. They're going to say I'm not humble. And you know how my mother is. Pride comes before a fall. Fine. Continue to live your life the way your mother insults you. Which one of you is going to be happy if you continue to live in that fashion? Neither of you. You see, your mother has her own perception, or had her own perception. For those of us who no longer have our mothers, our parents hold their own perceptions that they too were taught. They never challenged their perceptions. They just believed them to be true and taught us the same. There's no fault in that because it is law. You can only teach what you know. But there comes a point in your lives where you must now teach yourself something different. You see, because the desire within you does not go away. It haunts you because you want it. Now, why do you think that is? You can see it as one of two things. You can see it as a punishment, or you can see it as, come and get it. The reason it does not leave you is because the law says, I know that you want to accomplish this thing. So as the scripture says, rise, take up your bed and walk. Get up and do what seemingly is impossible. That is what the law is telling you, and that is why the desire has not gone anywhere until you take it in hand and say, fine, I'll do it. I have everything to gain. Or as Luke Evans in the movie Immortals, when he screams to Theseus, he says, prove me right. So how do you prove the law right? By knowing exactly what you want. And you see the feeling in your body, the sensation in your body? You do not allow the sensation in your body to tell you that you cannot. Oh, it may try to rear its ugly head, but you tell it, no. I am and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Who is Christ? You are. So you can do all things. That is what the law is calling on you today to do. To rise up. Rise up in boldness. You see, I know and I understand. I comprehend. I may not have gone through some of the things that you all have been through. But here's the kicker, right? I don't need to go through it to know that it hurt you. But what I can tell you is this. The law is now here and brought to your awareness so that you can walk in freedom. You see, I don't care that you've done it that way, the old way, your whole life. The law tells you if you want to have a new experience, you have to change your mental attitude. That's what the law is telling you and I today. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell me, but I've tried this so many different ways? I've tried it backwards and forwards and nothing changed. Ah, you know what hasn't changed? The consistency by which we function. We don't see something change and we say, bah, it never changes. That's what happens to humanity. We don't see it right away, so we assume that it is not happening. You see how we naturally assume anyway? We assume naturally. It is nothing foreign to you. But because I tell you now to assume that you have what it is, even though you cannot see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, assume that you have it. And it is yours. And you're going to tell me, but I can't. When in actuality, what have you done? You have assumed that all the bad things, you've assumed that you cannot change. You have assumed that this is all there is. So you are assuming already. What's the difference between assuming that you have it and assuming the acceptance of the poor expression of your life? All that needs to be done is to turn your attention towards what it is you say you are and what it is that you want. But instead, what do we do like Lot's wife? We long in our hearts for the familiarity of our struggle. That's what we do. We long in our hearts for the familiarity of our struggle. Because familiarity, when something is familiar to you, it is safe, right? And you stay there. That's why we do it. Because we've been doing it for so long. But the law is telling you today, get up. But in order to get up, you have to know what it is that you want. What do you want? Let me say it another way. What do you want? What is it that you want? Name it. You have to name it. When you name it, you give it form. We live in form. So you must give it form by naming it. All other things are opinions. I don't know if I can. That's an opinion. You learned that somewhere from somebody. But now you want to push and say, what is this law you speak of? I don't know this law. Accept your freedom. You have nothing to be afraid of when you walk in your freedom. You see, when you walk in your freedom, yes, the law tells you if you know the cause, oh my God, you can become a prophet and predict the effect. Well, how so? Well, you planted it. So do you not know what you planted? That's how you can predict the harvest because you know what you have planted. So there are no shadows with the law. Everything is illuminated. So you can see clearly. That is the beauty of the law that you have been given. And you know what takes time? It takes time for us to mentally convince ourselves that we can do it. That's why some people will say, it took me 10 years. It didn't take you 10 years to get it. It took you 10 years to get your mind right. So today, use the law to help you get your mind right faster. You see, again, we've been told so much in our lives. Yes, we have been told so much. Pride comes before a fall. So how must one have confidence in themselves if you don't have a sense of, ah, I did this? Yes, I did. Yay! And I celebrate what I've done. You see the difference between that and the pride that makes everything crumble? The difference is you look at yourself and the law, you use it to beat others with. Oh, I'm better than you. You see your intention. Your intention is to create harm. So if the intent is to create harm, what do you think is going to happen? Everything must fall. But if your intention is, oh my God, let me tell you what I learned. You remember? I used to be like so stuck in a particular lifestyle. Well, guess what? I've been free of that. Let me show you how I got free. You are so turned on with joy and excitement that you've been set free by the law, that you now, all you want to do is share it with other people so that they too can be free. That's the difference between pride that comes before a fall and self-confidence. Or as Bajans would say, don't want for nobody what you won't want for yourself. Meaning don't want for someone what you don't want for you. So if you want it for you, well, clearly you're going to want it for somebody else. And if you want it for somebody else, you'll have it for you. That is the law. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. Or as Neville says, the law of reversibility. You can bring about your own success by seeing someone else successful in their endeavors. Why? Because you are focused upon success as a desired outcome, and you can feel their success. You're not feeling their success, you are feeling success. But you're looking at them and wanting success for them. So by virtue, the very thing that you want for them, you must get for yourself, because as within, so without. But we run around and we want to say, but they're better than me. They had an easier life than I did. They didn't have all these struggles. We want to run around and say that, do we? If you're going to look at your neighbor, whether they be noisy at 11 o'clock at night is irrelevant. Look at your neighbor and want the best for them. You want peace and quiet for you? You will want peace and quiet for them too. And you know what will happen? You will get peace and quiet. Oh yes, you'll get peace and quiet, my dear. You'll get it, and so will they. So I'm telling you this good news today. You have the ability to change your life by first deciding what it is that you want. Second, how does it make you feel? Then you say, oh, that is mine. That's mine. I ain't got to beg nobody. I don't have to wait for nobody to come and rescue me. I can rescue myself. And then you have that attitude of audacity that nobody can. You know that song? Nobody's gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no. Nobody can stop you. Not once your mind is made up. That just flashed me back to that old song we used to sing in church. My mind's made up and I won't turn back. I'm gonna see my Jesus one day. That song. Listen, when you have determined in your mind who you say it is that you are, nothing can stop you from becoming it. It is law. Once you've put the seed in the ground, it is inevitable that you reap your harvest. Oh, but what if somebody comes along and digs it up and it dies? What is your intention? To reap a harvest? Well, if that is your intention to reap your harvest, no pestilence, no malice can thwart you. But hey, don't take my word for it. Get up today and be audacious and be bold. But what if I fail, Angela? You mean, what if you fail to keep yourself focused on your desired outcome? Well, you get up and put your focus back where it should be, on your success. What do you mean if you fail? We don't fail high tide and low tide. We don't fail winter, spring, summer, fall. We don't fail. We only succeed because the law only succeeds. How does it only succeed? By making sure that everything runs according to law. Mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. Correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. Vibration, everything moves. Nothing stands still, and it moves between two things that appears to be opposite. But they're only opposite because one is on the left and one is on the right, but they are the same. So it moves between two poles. You need the two. What are the two poles? To and from. To and from in polarity. And to and from now creates a rhythm, an ebb, and a flow, causing you to bring about an effect. Why? Because you decided in your conscious mind to project that image, that assumption into your subconscious mind. Masculine is your projection, feminine is the acceptance into your subconscious mind, so that the thing can take shape, so that you can experience it. This is law. So if you sit there today and say, I cannot, oh, woe is me, what does the law do? Because the law is impartial. The law doesn't say, oh, well, you know, sugar visions, I see you struggling. The law doesn't see that. The law simply sees what it is you believe to be true. And whatever that impression is that you have of the truth, it has to unfold in that manner. So no, today we are not being punished. It is self-inflicted because we are holding ourselves in an undesirable state. So rise up this morning, take up your bed and walk. That's what Jesus said to the crippled man. He wasn't crippled because his legs were busted. He was crippled in his thinking. He was thinking that he was somehow inadequate and he could not do such a thing. So rise. What is above? Awareness, consciousness is above. The body is below. So when you rise in mind, the body must rise to correspond, because you cannot break the law. So if you rise mentally, then your physical has to do the same. You are such a beautiful people. You truly, truly are. But somewhere along the line, we have allowed ourselves to be convinced of our inferiority. The all did not make anything inferior. How do I know? Because the all only recreates itself. And it is not inferior, because there's nothing superior to it. How do I know that it only recreates itself? Because when you plant corn, you can't get peas. You can only get what is contained within the seed that you have planted. It only recreates itself. So who do you say that you are? Who is it that you say you are? Who are you assuming that you are? That is what will get you through anywhere. Your concept of yourself. Oh, sure, that's a fancy word, concept of self. So let's make it a little easier. What's the seed that you're planting then? I'm going to tell you a little bit of a funny story. And you'll understand what I'm saying to you. Allegedly, in China, this woman, she deemed herself to be ugly, right? So she went and had all this plastic surgery done. And this man came along and he fell in love with her. The first baby looked like the mother. Not the plastic surgery, but it looked like the mother. Allegedly, the baby was ugly. You see, we can go and pretend, but the core of you is what you recreate. So it didn't matter whatever kind of plastic surgery she wanted to have to beautify herself. On the outside, the truth of who and what you are always emerges. So, what is your core? When you look in the mirror, do you have a hard time making eye contact with your own self? Why? It's you. You're not a stranger. It is you. Why should you be afraid of looking yourself in your own eyes? You shouldn't be. It is you. So gaze upon yourself. Gaze upon your reflection. And if you find that it is uncomfortable, see that seed? Then that's why you go out into the world and you have a hard time. Because you have not accepted yourself. You think there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you heard there was. And because you heard that something was wrong with you, you ran with it. You didn't question it at all. I digress. Let us take a moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space this morning. Hey, Jeff, Ruru. It's so good to see you here on Twitter. And I know I'm going to see Lilith. No, don't fret. I know. Marjorie, the better man, Goddess Pure Diamond, Agnieszka, Liza, Joaquin, Sugar Visions, A Not. And for the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, ah, K Chanel, I see you. Welcome. Fanbase. And oh, Indy is on Facebook. Who's here? Ah, my beautiful flow smiles. Comrade Coach Delight. My Melanie KZ, Miss McQueen, Yolanda Zola, Joseph, and Cher. Oh, Lord, don't worry. That's my boy. He's snoring. All is well. Listen, rise up today. Rise up today with your boldness, your audacity, and know what it is you desire, what it is that you want. You have to know what that is, not whether it is possible or impossible. That is not the question. The question is, what do you want? Simple question, isn't it? And we find all manner of excuses so we don't have to answer that question, because for some reason, if you answer the question, you'll be judged. Look in the mirror and you'll see the judge. So if you don't judge you, you don't have the impression on your subconscious mind of judgment. So if you don't judge you, as within, so without, but you judge you, you have to experience the judgment on the outside. The law is calling you today to elevate yourself. You know, they tell you that nothing can grow beyond its confines. You know, a particular fish in a fish tank, it'll only get so big. But the law is vast. And if you apply the law, you now will grow beyond the confines of your old beliefs. That's what the law causes us to do, to grow beyond the confines of our beliefs, our old ones. That is your encouragement today. That is the tell me something good. That's the good I had to tell you today. And I tell you because I love you. Because what I want for me is what I want for you. And what I want for you is what I want for me, which is goodness. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. Of course. That is the promise. Today, my beautiful friends, be audacious. You don't have to tell anybody your business. It's whose business is it? Your business. Keep it that way. Because not everybody knows the law. And because they don't all know the law just yet, you know how some people are? Shoot, we have a fancy term for it. We call it crabs in a barrel. Look at us go, huh? We have all these names for things. But yet, we're still afraid to be audacious with the law. That's why you keep your business to yourself, because not everybody knows the law. They don't know that they should be happy for you, and that in their happiness for you, they produce within themselves what they're happy for you about. They don't know that yet. So we don't cast pearls before swine. You're not calling them swine. You're saying the thing that is valuable should go to the one that appreciates it. And at one point in all of our lives, we were not in a position to appreciate. But we are in a position now to appreciate. And that is why when you hear the law and you apply the law, that's why you change your life. Because why? It is valuable to you. That's why you use it. The pearl of great price, Neville Goddard calls it. You see it as such a valuable thing, this law, that you don't discard it. You put it up because it is a light. You don't hide a light under bushes. You put it up on the mountaintop so it can be seen by all. And that's what you do with it because you value it so much in your life. You allow it to light your pathway. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. That is what I'm telling you today. That is the good I'm telling you today. Allow the law. I mean, it's always going to work anyway. You just have to get your mind around it. What would it be like if you were audacious? Oh, get that warm feeling in your chest. Oh, that's what I would be like? Oh, I like the feeling of that. Well, then this feeling, oh, I love it. Give me more. More, more, more. Give me more of that. And you begin to walk in that assumption that you are audaciously applying the law to your life. Nothing can hold you back or stop you. Save yourself. So, I tell you these things because I have to live it every day too. You think I escaped somehow the same programming that we all had? Nah, man. I had it too. I had it too. So now I got to get my mind right. That's why you get up and you do it every day. And how do you get your mind right? By speaking the best to yourself and not entertaining, oh, but, oh, that's not for me. Not everybody can have good things. What? Do not entertain things that are derogatory. Entertain the best of yourself. Rehearse the best. Because then you get to perform your best on the stage of life. That's why you don't entertain nonsense. You don't have time to be telling yourself, oh, look at how long I've been struggling. I just can't. No. You do not entertain that. The same way you can catch yourself talking yourself out of your greatness. Well, then, talk yourself into your greatness because, shoot, you're talking already. So you might as well say something of value to yourself. Why would you go outside and pour vinegar on your plants when you want to reap the benefit of them? So idle talk to yourself that you've always done. Oh my God, look at the size of my ass in this dress. I'm never going to be beautiful. What? What are you saying to yourself? If you're going to look at yourself and judge what you see, then find something good to compliment. Because all you're doing is looking at yourself anyway. So what's the difference? Find the good thing. Why? Because the good thing reinforces and it bolsters your confidence and boosts your audacity, whereas the other way tears it down. And you know as well as I do that who wants to feel bad? Nobody. So, don't let me holler at y'all. No, I'm not going to holler. I'm fired up. Think about that for a moment. You've spent your whole life hearing, and then you stopped hearing it from somebody and you started telling it to yourself. Well, then do the same on the other side. Tell yourself the good about yourself. Oh, but I can't find the good. As long as you're looking for it, you don't have a choice but to find it. It is law. Seek, and ye shall find. But if you find every single thing to criticize yourself about, well, then you're going to find everything to criticize yourself about. That is what I want to tell you today. Double A. So, my beautiful friends, I've told you something good. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do? Get your back up off the wall and dance. Oh, listen, y'all, make sure today that you step with boldness. Speak to yourself in the way that encourages you to rise. That is what you do. And if you can't see it in yourself to rise for you, see it in somebody else for them to rise. Why? Because you're looking at success and it makes you feel good to want it for someone else. Well, then the moment that you want it for someone, you have given it to yourself. So you see, cause and effect are at play. If you see the success that you want and you see it for someone else, well, then you've now created it in yourself. So it's a win-win. Don't fret. You've got this in the bag. That is your word today. I do love you. Let me get that bowl, y'all. Let me get the bowl. Because you know as well as I do, if I stay, you'll stay. Somebody's going to preach. So, let's get the bowl. Down. Initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to you, Twitter, Jeff, Ruru, Lilith, all of you. Twitter is closed. YouTube and Facebook, you know I love you all. Go forth today and be your wonderful self. I love you all.